Greetings everyone, welcome to Just Advanced. I really wanted to cover this game yesterday, but I had already covered MBL game and MBL and Gokesh's game. But this game is an absolutely amazing game, and someone really needs to stop Fabiano. Otherwise, this is going to turn to 2014 Sinquefield Cup, where he had 7-0 score and beating everyone, even beating Magnus. I mean, this guy was a beast, and I don't know what happens to him whenever he plays Sinquefield Cup. He just absolutely obliterates everyone. And with the black pieces, he's playing against Nodirbek Abdusattorov with the white pieces. So let's see what Abdusattorov has in store for him. So we have c4, e6, knight to c3, and d5. We go for the Agincourt defense, d4, knight to f6, and now just going for the exchange variation of Queen's Gambit declined. We have e captures, bishop to g5, and this is not something new. I mean, you could go for this line anytime here. Bishop to e7, e3, h6, and now just bishop to h4. Bishop to g4, and just going for this queen to c2, not just blocking with the bishop and trading the bishop here early on, because I think Nodirbek is there and he wants to attack. Castles, h3, pushing the bishop back, bishop to e6, but just knight to f3. So both players are just trying to just develop their pieces. Most likely this will be in the air. Then develop the knight, or you could develop the knight this way as well. Here we have a knight back to e8, asking for a bishop trade, and just bishop to g3. I mean, he's deliberately trying to keep the bishop here, so definitely he wants to attack. He wants to win this game, because Nodirbek has not been having the greatest of tournament, because he is in the last place actually, and he has 0.5 points, and it's I don't think it's fair. I mean, Nodirbek is one of the strongest players in the lineup, and sometimes it's just not your tournament, and it happens to everyone. I mean, you try to play, you try to push for more aggressive play, you try to push for wins, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that well as you want it to. And sometimes these tournaments just also shape you in a way that you want to. And in the next coming tournaments, I'm sure Nodirbek will be just crushing everyone, but yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Hey, bishop to d6, bishop to d3, and now just bishop captures. We have f captures, knight to d7, and just going for g4, c5 now, and just trying to open up the queen side and asking, what are you what are you going to do? Are we going to have like pass like these pawns in the center of the board, where in the end game they're not good? So here just a queen side castle, and this is I think pushing it a bit too far, because you have to understand that yes, you're trying to get a win, and it would be amazing if you beat like the top scorer of the board. And I mean, but still you have to understand that this is a bit too risky. But again, if it works, then there is no issue. Rook to c8 was played by Fabi immediately, but now comes g5. I mean, not even moving the king out of the way, not even moving the queen out of the way. We have c captures, e captures, and now just h captures, and now just g4, g6. Now g6 is such a dangerous move in this position, and Fabi plays it so calmly as well. That's absolutely insane. The idea is, yes, you can go for this, and Nodirbek goes for it. Bishop captures on g6, and now what do? If you play f captures, then you can just resign right on the spot instead of playing f captures, because after queen caps on g6, king to h8, knight is coming to g5, and there is nothing you could do. Mate is being threatened. You cannot come here because this captures, and if you try to defend it with queen to e7, you play knight captures, and you think that maybe you can win some material back. Then just queen to h5 check, king to g8, queen to g5 check, and yeah, just king to g8, and rook h to e1. Now you cannot capture because this queen captures, and after rook captures, just rook captures will win me some amazing material. I'll be an exchange up in a completely winning position. Your king will be exposed, and the endgame will be completely losing. So yeah, that is in the air. But after bishop captures, you don't have to capture, and you can play the move that Fabi played. Fabi went for not not that obviously. Fabi went for queen to f6. Now just threatening to pick up the bishop. So just bishop moving away with the check, king to g7, and now just rook d to f1. And this looks very, very scary. I mean, this looks very, very scary. I think if it was in a rapid time format game, then definitely Nodirbek would have a really amazing chance of winning this game. But when it's classical, I mean, you can calculate all the lines, and it's just very difficult. If you don't have anything in the position, if he had some like positive score going with him, like with the engine, it's maybe he would have had something. Here we have b5, and this is a serious threat, because you have to understand, just moving the king out of the way is not going to help, because your queen is in the line of fire as well, and well, you cannot move the knight away. And yeah, this is just not good. h4 was played by Nodirbek. Both players are just completely ignoring each other, and he's definitely trying to attack. We have b4 now, but now comes h captures, attacking the queen. Queen to f4 check was played, and king to b1, but now comes this b captures, just grabbing the piece. And now, I mean, you have to be very much careful. Just consider yourself, you're Nodirbek, you're trying to win against the top scorer of the tournament. What move do you play in this position? Uh, Just have at it. Just give it this some thought. This is a beautiful position. I mean, if you find the move, you're going to be really really happy for the rest of the day. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move, and the move is knight to h4, because here this check is very much important. Queen is already guarding that, so you don't have to worry about that, and rook is already there. So the geometry lines are perfect. You just want to get the knight into the game, and these knights are absolutely just worse, because you have to understand they are not even, they're disconnecting the rooks. Bishop is not protecting the rooks. You cannot even capture here because your rook hangs, so you cannot do much here in this position. But let's say you try to grab the pawn, let's say you try to just, it also comes with an attack towards the queen, so you have to move the queen away as well. Queen captures on g5, but now comes knight to f5 check, and this is just so complicated. This is so complicated. If you think about, if you can just, move out of the way or do nothing in this position and you'll be fine, it doesn't work like that. Because if you move the king back in this position, well, you can say goodbye to this game right away, because after bishop to g6 check, this is just absolutely beautiful, mate. Because king to g8, now rook to h8 check, king captures, rook to h1 check, king to g8, rook to h8 check, and king captures, and queen to h2 check, king moves, and now this will be checkmate. So you cannot go for it. But here after knight to f5, you could also think, can I just run away with the king? I mean, under the fire of rook, if you want to do that, I mean, you can try to do that, but the position would be completely losing, because you can get this knight to d6 check, and I'm just gonna pick up for your amazing rook for free, and you're just a rook down. I mean, you're just an exchange down, and you don't have much compensation, and there is no threat with this now. So I mean, I'm just a very happy person, and you have another choice now in this. After knight to f5, you could also go for bishop captures on f5, and after bishop captures, this looks very scary if the rook jumps in the party. So you might be inclined to actually defend with the rook, but that would be a very terrible blunder in this position, because now comes rook caps on h8, king captures rook to h1, and king to g7, and bishop caps on d7. You just left a knight hanging, and now yes, queen is jumping in the party. Either you're getting mated or either you're losing material. Either way, you can just resign here. But after bishop caps on f5, you don't have to forcibly play rook to h8. You could go for this knight e to f6, and everything is absolutely fine. And I'm going to grab the piece that I gave you, thank you very much, bishop captures on d7, because now you cannot capture with this, because the queen is joining the party, and you have to continuously keep an eye. You cannot even capture here, because you have to understand that bishop captures, and I just pick up the rook. So you play rook to c7, trying to kick the bishop back, but I just happily move bishop to f5. You cannot get the rook here because bishop captures. You cannot capture because your rook hangs, and somewhere along the line, if you move the knight, then this is coming. So position is absolutely amazing, and yeah, it could be better for either of them, but if Nodirbek had gone for that, then this would have been the case. Because here after b captures, he completely forgot about this, and he did not go for this. Instead, he went for bishop to f5. But this is your strongest attacker, and you're like trading it for a weak piece. Why are you doing this? And here just rook to h8 was played, but this rook to h8 now in this position is the only move that wins the game for Fabi. Why it wins the game? Because if, let's say, this knight wasn't there in the position, this would have been a draw, because you can just trade everything and go into an endgame. But you sacrifice the knight here on c3, and now you're trading more pieces is not the way to play chess. Because after rook captures, king captures, you don't have an attack here. Bishop caps on e6 was played, trying to open up this, and I don't think Nodirbek calculated everything through. Maybe he was low on time, maybe he was just thinking that this could be winning, because this absolutely looks winning. Because here after f captures, you get the rook into the game, king moves, and queen is jumping in the party, queen to h7, king to f8. But now how the hell is this not checkmate? It's absolutely insane. Because now if you try to checkmate, or if you try to push the pawn through, let's say you play g6, but the position is absolutely lost, because now comes a beautiful move, which is c2 check. You cannot block here with the king, and that's the whole point. Because after king to a1, you're just getting back rank checkmated. c1 queen, rook captures, queen captures, would be checkmate. So there is no point in going for any of that. Here after king to e7, rook to h7 check was played, but after this king to f8, g6 was tried. But here just knight d to f6, and it was on this move, on move 30, that Nodirbek Abdusattorov resigned the game, and Fabi got the spectacular victory. He's the sole leader of this tournament now, and he's there at the top of the game with, I think, 3 points. And yeah, he's doing very amazingly. And if this is not just that high of a performance of the Sinquefield Cup of 2014, just because he set the bars too high. I mean, at that point, 7-0 is absolutely insane. But still, even now, he's just playing tremendous chess, and you have to feel for Nodirbek. I mean, he's playing amazing chess, but he's not able to get it through. And yeah, maybe just not in this tournament. But we wish him all the best, because he's a spectacular player. I'm sure he'll bounce back and he'll crush everyone in the next tournament. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, and yeah, stay updated. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you everyone for watching.